Oy. Okay. Alright. Let me see. Let me see if we actually got everything lined up. Lurks look good. MySpace top 8 is set. Very important. Chats appear to be working. Alerts appear to be running. Streams are all in place. We've got quick access ready to disable raids when the time has come. Roll call looks to be good. Looks to be complete. I think we're maybe there. We gotta... Maybe if there's anything else. Volumes. I think volumes are where they ought to be. That's very good. That's very important. I'm blowing out my speakers or your guys' ears. That's ready to go. The lighting is probably where I want it, minus it being too light outside. It's throwing off all of my contrast. I don't know. I'm glad you like the starting soon sequence, Duckling. Very cool. I'm glad. Sorry it was so long today, but yeah, that was the plan, actually. No, I take that back. This was all planned all along. It was so that you guys could see it. Those of you who haven't seen it. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, it wasn't, for sure, wasn't me, like, frantically going back over a section of material so that I could change how to present it in the 11th hour. It's not that. It wasn't that. No. It wasn't, it wasn't that thing. It was something else entirely. Yeah, it was the... I wanted Duckling to see the starting soon sequence and all the rest of you guys who hadn't seen it. That's what I wanted. That's, oh, 3, 2, 1. Oh, my word. Well, hello. Greetings. Salutations all. How you doing? You guys made it? You survived? You survived the thing? Very good to have you. Hot Pride is here. Hello, babe. Good to see you on all the platforms. Means a heck of a lot. Mel is here also. Hello, Mel. Har's on time. I know you ended your stream. It's crazy. How the heck are you, my friendo? Pre, it's good to see you, Doc. Welcome. Thank you for calling out the doctor. Plot twist, Gus is playing the piano. Haha, hardly. Spirit, I'm glad that you popped on in before heading off to bed. I'm really grateful. And if your bandwidth is here, then for posterity, we get to say thank you for it. But in any case, I'm grateful for the well-wishings and for you checking in, touching bases. Always, always great to hear from you. I hope the sleep is good to you. I hope the sleep is good. Yes, Duckling, very good to see you. Liz, welcome. How the heck is you? Hope you're doing all right. Hello. Oh, good job making Duckling happy. I know, hashtag mission accomplished. We've done it. That's what it was. It was very important. Very important. We've done it. Look at us. It's very good. It's very good. Very good indeed. Welcome. Hello. Thank you. Yeah, a couple weeks now. We've done it. Princess! Hello, Princess! Welcome the heck back. How the heck are you? All this time has now passed, and you decided to come back around? That's really saying something. I'm grateful as heck to see you again. Grateful as heck to have you back. Like, you could have thought better of it and been like, post. Nah, don't need this aggravation. But you didn't. It's either we question your judgment, or I'm grateful. Grateful to have you. I hope that weekend's eve is finding you okay. This is to be hoped. You had to water the plants. That's the delay. Yeah. Hi, by the way. Hello. No, I watered the plants earlier. That was a lot. Yes. Now that it's getting hotter, all of the, 50... I think we did the counting. I think we had, 50-something moss poles. 55 moss poles. Yeah, every moss pole but 2. Every moss pole but 2 needed it today. And that is at this rate, every other day thing. Which is really lousy, gotta say. Really lousy. Yeah, a lot of watering. It's hot. And since the air conditioner, blows dry air, we have to run the industrial humidifier to try to counter it basically non-stop. And we still don't get to reach some healthy equilibrium where... the plants need to suck it up. It's our house first, right? Plain and simple. But we like to get the house to like somewhere like 50-something%, 60% if we can. Because if we're in it all the time, we don't notice it. If you're constantly going in and out of the house, yeah, you notice it. And it's like, ew, this place is rainforest. But if you're just in here, you don't notice it. It's difficult to get it up there, to get it up to that percentage with the air conditioner running. And today was 96 degrees here, which is nuts, especially given that 3 days from now it's gonna be in the 40s. Reno's weird. Reno's weird, you guys. It's got weird weather. Weird weather. Anywho, yeah, it's hot. It's freaking hot. So this is the consequence. This is the consequence of living that life. It be like that sometimes. It do. Anyways, you're doing well. I'm glad to hear it, Hars. Glad to hear it. I hope your stream treats you right. Are you done with Prince of Persia yet? Yeah, I know these are like your games. Like you love these games, and are you playing through all of them? Like, what's the tea there? What's going on with the Prince of Persia games, Hars? I didn't even get to see what you were up to today. I just pulled you up. I didn't even know what you were doing. Honestly, today, I'm scrambling today, you guys. Between the plant stuff, yes, and writing. But it wasn't even writing for tonight, right? The material for tonight, yes, I was cramming at the very end to be like, ooh, I could do this better. But I was working on the next stage of the masculine journey. I was hammering away at the next several talks all day. So, yeah, my eyes hurt. My eyes hurt. So, yeah, I didn't get to do any interacting with anybody. I don't even think I even said hi to anybody, even in their chat. I don't think I even said lurk work, which is my usual, like, I don't think I even said that in anyone's chat today. Very antisocial. Very antisocial. Thanks, good to be here. Just saying what I think. I'm glad. Glad, Duckling. Very glad indeed. No, I'm glad to have you here, and I'm glad that you like this starting soon. Am grateful. Grateful for that feedback. Means a lot. About to eat some tacos? Hell yeah, let's go. That sounds freaking great. What kind? What kind of tacos? Like pretty standard fare, like ground beef? We doing chicken? Or are they like shrimp tacos? Like, what kind of tacos are we talking about? You know? Hail! It's good to see you, sir. Welcome. Good morning, good day, and good evening, it's true. Good time zones to you, my friend. I hope that you're doing all right. It was very good to see you the other day, and I'm glad to have you here. You just stab the pole with the moisture meter? Nope, no need. You give it a squeeze. Wherever the foliage is at on the moss pole, like wherever it's up to, presumably that's where the roots are. If it has air roots that run all the way up through the moss, then you just squeeze the top. But you just give it a little squeeze and listen for it. Like, it needs to be quiet enough that you can listen, but it'll be pretty loud. If that sphagnum moss is dry, it goes crunch, and you're like, oh. So yeah, you just walk around and go, no, crunch. This one. Crunch. Oh no, crunch. I need 8 of them over here. Crunch. I need 9 more, and that was today. I need 9 more water bottles over here. I need 8 more over here, 4 more over here, all of the ones in this room, and yep, it's every bottle, every single pole but 2. Upstairs and down. It was a lot. It was a lot. Yeah, no moisture meter necessary. It's much faster. The moss poles is way easier in terms of like knowing when to water. Way easier. If moss go crunch, water. No moisture meters, no guessing, no nothing. The moss stays moist. The end. It's really straightforward. Really kind of Barney-proof for me. Go crunch? Good. Okay, good crunch. What? Eye drop content. Speaking of things that go crunch. My eyes. Hey, look. I got new eye drops. I got new eye drops, you guys. We did it. Playing through it. Making progress. Over 60% done of the story. Determined to get unstuck. Oh, no. Are you stuck? How did this happen? Chair stream for smooches. Oh, my God. Barbacoa beef. Oh. I see you. Speaking of see you. Whew. This dripper bottle behaves differently than the last ones. This one's bigger. I don't know how. I don't know if I just... This is the one that I had. I told you guys I had another bottle lying around. But look. I actually have it right here still. Look at this. So the little baby one is what I've been using. And it drops differently. So I've got to like figure it out. I got to be careful lest I make a freaking fool of myself. Okay, eye drop content check. Chair stream, huh? Chair stream, huh? I see you. All right, I'll go get some chair stream. I ain't scared of some smooches. But that's gonna be it. I'm not gonna see commands for most of the night, you guys, because we're getting into the serious business. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Got woken up by police lights. No sirens, just lights. And that has annoyed me because of some ungodly reason. I woke up at midnight the other night. So I woke for like 26 hours, and I'm now sitting on 2 hours of sleep. I'm not tired. Circadian rhythms. It's a whole thing, Hale. I'm sorry. That is lousy. Loved the CRN on Wednesday. Still getting comfortable in the Discord. So glad I joined. Everyone was so kind and friendly. Made my week, really. And Liz, it was such a pleasure to have you. Such a pleasure to have you. Gang, again, you don't know what Wednesdays are about. If you don't know what the rendezvous are, the CNR that Liz is talking about, it's what we get up to on Wednesdays. This is where we get to put faces to the name and do life together meaningfully. Wednesdays are my favorite day of the week because I get to, like, chat with you guys. I'm gifted with fresh perspective, with insights, and, like, just a look into life with so many of you people. And it is super cool. And there are, very few spaces left. I think before this upcoming Wednesday happens, I'm gonna have to shut down 2 other CNR crews that are full now. So that leaves the 7 Pum crew. 7 Pum Pacific time. That's it. 7 Pum has a couple spaces. So get into a CNR crew while you can, cause yep, I'll have to expand them again later, but they're full. Some of them are over full. So, get plugged in while you can. Do it while you can. Spark! Good to see you, Spark. That's how doctors practice before they get their first patient. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Now cough. Exactly, Spark. You get it. You get it. So much crunching. Yeah, yeah. Do you check the expiration? Yes. September of next year. I don't know how I'm supposed to get to the place I need to be. Oh, puzzling platforms. Yep, make you think. Indeed, it's good for the old gray matter or something, Hars. That's what they keep telling me. I don't know. Skims, it's good to see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. All right, gang. The chair stream has been redeemed. I have to leave you in the hopefully capable arms of chair whilst I go give smooches. And now is a good opportunity for you to avail yourself of the facilities if you haven't yet done so. Top off your anti-tilt if you're lacking. Oh, yes. And then we're going to come back. I'm going to give a brief reintroduction to what it is we're doing here. And then I'm going to disable raids, and then we're going to jump in. So raids are enabled right now. So if anybody out there is enterprising and being sneaky and particularly generous, you can still raid for the next handful of minutes before we jump into the material. Tonight is also going to be a shorter night per the threat, much like last week's was. And that's because I'm trying to break up what is unquestionably difficult material and have it be a little more approachable, a little more accessible, and a little more digestible, okay? So, yep, that's what's going to be happening. So, okay, we're going to get back to that. Do go take care of what you got to take care of, and I'll be right back. Well, that was a short chair stream because I neither have to go to the bathroom nor top off anti-tilt and the hot bread's in the shower. So, I don't want to spook her. It's a rule. It's a rule. She knows that I'm here, that I'm streaming, and she will not be expecting somebody to come up and surprise her. So, nope. Not gonna scare her. I absolutely take umbrage with all of those memes and stuff on the internet where guys love pranking their wives and like scaring her. Nope, she should not be scared in her own home. You can pull pranks and be silly elsewhere, but this is her sanctuary. This is her castle. She should feel absolutely confident within these walls. And I think you do a great disservice when you scare the lady in your life such that she's not comfortable in these four walls. No. That might be a silly thing, but no, I don't want to spook her. I don't want to spook her. So, I appreciate the sentiment, but okay. Okay, so thank you for so many links. Look at all the links. Yes, they're not up to date, and that is because I'm going to have to do the playlist thing and then link the playlist thing. And I haven't done that because I have to figure out playlists on Rumble. Gotta do it. I think I already knew how. I just haven't done it. I haven't done it yet, so this will be setting up a thing. We're gonna learn, you guys. We're gonna learn stuff. It's gonna be great. So, yeah, links to the usual stuff in the usual places, y'all. Big thanks to everybody who makes tonight possible. You guys have heard me say before that I believe real relationships ought involve the silly as well as the serious and all of what is in between. I believe that we ought to embrace all of that stuff in the real relationships, the kind of which I hope to model and foster here in the Mafia community. And whether it's the silly or the serious, none of that happens. None of this. None of the stream stuff happens. None of the community stuff. All of it, all the free stuff goes away without the people who sacrifice to give this thing a future. So big thanks to everybody who has got on a subscription style support thing on Ko-fi or Patreon if you're still tied to Patreon. In particular to the public patrons. These are the folks who've taken that $5 a month to the next level. And again, without whom none of this happens. Aki, Bootless, Dano, Leanne, Ferret, Goose, Abby, Tink, Helly, Marty, May, Karma, Pre, Rick, Zen, Ryan, Sabrina, Tier, Mouse, Trotsky, Pell, Milk, CJ number 1, and Zin. Thank you guys. Any good, I say it all the time, any good that comes from this can be traced right back to you. So thank you. Thank you. Stress is starting to come in as I am taking 10 days off work to ride the motorcycle out of Kansas City. 20-hour-ish ride starting on the 8th. What do you mean the stress is starting to come in? You're taking 10 days off because of the stress coming in, Skims? Or you're starting to, like, stress about the upcoming ride? Because that's a pretty long ride. Got you? You gonna, like, saddlebags and, like, camping and all that stuff? Like, you going, like, long trip cross-country with the works sort of deal? Sounds like, I mean, I've never done it. Hot Bride used to do that. But I that's never been my life, my experience. I don't know if this is a thing you want to do. Is it a source of stress planning for it? Is that just because it's the trip, or, you know? No, you're stressing about the upcoming ride. Okay, well, was it someone else's choosing or yours? Is this something you wanted to do or not? Do I get a rain check on that then? Nope. Absolutely not. Already disrupted stream. Nope. Not silly, it's sweet. Okay, Liz, okay, I'm not the only one. I hadn't heard that take before, but I think it's a pretty good one. Alright, that's 2. We take those. Sam, hello, Sam. It's good to see you. I've had such a bad day. Oh my gosh, Sam, what the heck? Why do I get the feeling it's fish related? Why do I get the feeling that more heartache hath befallen thee? I'm sorry to hear it, Sam. I'm sorry to hear it. Starting Salt Lake City area, heading to Kansas City. Mine, but the most I've done is 4 hours. Oh, I got you. Okay, so this is just a new scary thing. I got you. I see you. Hey, I've done that. I feel that. Mine was a different kind of bike ride. I had a friend who wanted to do a century ride on a road bikes thing, and I'm like, oh yeah, sure. And he liked cycling. You know, I was like, we're buddies, and like, I'll go because he wants to go to the thing. Sure, let's do it. But the longest I had ridden before that was 40 miles, and that was a long, miserable day. And so now it was 100 miles. For charity and stuff, and I nearly died. So yes, I understand the step up. I got you. You can do this. I believe, Skims. And at the other side of it, you'll be amazed at what it is that you can do. You'll be amazed. It might not be a century ride, but that's not a short amount of time on in the saddle. So hope I have everything that I need for the trip. The good news is, Skims, that you can get stuff on the way. Like, this is a piece of stress that I have come to grapple with over the years, which is like me wanting to pack every correct thing. Right, because what's the worst case scenario, though, is what I need to think of. What's the worst that could happen? I don't have something I need, and I lose $4 to buying new toothpaste or deodorant or whatever the heck it is, wherever I'm going, or $10 or $20. Is it really the worst thing in the world? I'm gonna use it. It's gonna come home with me. Now I've got an extra tube of toothpaste that I'll eventually use, or deodorant, or whatever. Like, if I forget something, I can get it on the way. You can too. So, you know, bring down the stress a little bit. Lean in. Lean into the excite. I'm looking forward to hearing about it on the other side, Skims. I'm looking forward to hearing about it. Silent! Welcome back, Silent. It's freaking good to see you. How the heck is you? I hope your weekend's eve finds you well. Looking forward to having you in. I can't believe you keep coming back, Silent. It means an awful lot. Means an awful lot. All right, so I'm going to tell some tea about what the heck it is we're doing here, you guys, to catch up folks who may not know. And then we're going to get set up and jump in, because I don't want to dwell in this. Kind of like Skims looking forward to the trip. It's a good trip. It's going to be an exciting trip. It'll be worthwhile. It'll be a valuable experience. You know, there'll be stories on the other end of it. It's good. It's a good thing, right? The in-between, the anticipation, the waiting is the worst of it. So, yeah, I want to not be in the waiting or the anticipation anymore. I want to get to it so that I can get past the thing. So, yeah, we're gonna be making quick work of this. GoPro. Ooh, a time-lapse setup. Sick. That's super cool, Skims. That's super cool. I love that that's a thing that exists now. Like, I remember when GoPro was like a term that people like, that started becoming ubiquitous. It was like, oh, I got a GoPro on this and a GoPro on that and a GoPro. Like, all of a sudden, we went from you needed a helicopter to record things to, oh yeah, just slap a GoPro on your mountain bike helmet. Voila. It's something. Something. Indy! Oh, holy Indy. Been a minute indeed. How the heck are you, Indy? It's very good to see you. I hope that you're well. I don't get to greet you proper like, Indy. I don't get to sit here and gush and dwell, because I've got the serious to get to tonight. I've got the serious material. And we'll know it once I turn on the banner. This banner. Boop. The little banner that runs along the bottom of the screen. Boop. That one. Once I've disabled raids and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna catch everybody up on what the heck is going on, and then we're gonna get to it. Because again, the waiting is the worst. Okay. If you are just joining us for the first time in a while, perhaps if that's you, who could it be? What we're doing right now is a series called The Masculine Journey. Okay? This began near the beginning of the year. We talked about hard mode at the outset. I laid the groundwork for this series for no fewer than 4 months. Okay? Preparation and warnings for 4, I think maybe even 5 months early. The warnings began about the difficulty of this particular series. For myriad reasons. There's a whole bunch of reasons why this would be difficult for me to deliver and for you guys to sit in. And then we got to it. And indeed, there have been a lot of difficult nights of this, because this is about the progression of a boy into an adolescent, into a man, into a wise man, okay? Into an old man. And what it looks like to do that, not just incidentally, not haphazardly, not just, oh, you made it, but seriously, to do so well, to abide best practices, because there are some best practices for what it looks like to develop well, and to raise sons of character and consequence. All of that requires best practices. That requires wisdom, and it requires courage to get that wisdom, to sit in this. And I, in preparation for this series, went through, I think 9 was the final tally, 9 different books, different authors, different takes on this, different things that they believed were important. Mostly I'm speaking to the commonalities, because this is stuff that is understood and has been understood for much of antiquity, going back. So I am speaking to those best practices. I am here encouraging your careful consideration of those best practices. And I adjure you, take this lightly, treat this flippantly, at your peril. Do so to the great detriment of all of man. That is mankind. But definitely of men proper as well. So, yeah, we first covered boyhood, okay? Then we moved into the phase of the ranger. This is the adolescent years and what all needs to be accomplished there. Then we moved into the warrior, very important stuff. And now we are in the lover, concomitant with the warrior in terms of age. I had a visual representation for this once upon a time. It is posted in the Discord. People have copied it and shared it around. You can ask in Confabulating. I'm sure somebody's got it on hand if you'd like to look at it right now. I have other visual aids already pulled up and waiting in the wings, and I don't wish to mess any of that up by pulling up a new visual, so I'll not do so right now, right here. But that's where we are, is in the phase of the lover right now. We are in part 3, in particular, of the lover. Part 3, okay? 3 nights it's taken to cover this. And that's because in the course of this series, starting at the beginning, I said, I want this material to be digestible. I want this material to be something that you can assimilate into your schema of understanding the world and of your humaning experience. I want it to be approachable. And a 4 to 5 hour lecture on dense, difficult, challenging material is not that. It is none of those things, and historically that's what I've done. So I have been challenged by, incidentally, my mentors with whom I have also gone through this material. Slow down, Gus. That's part of it. So I'm trying. I'm also trying very hard to make sure that my words are the ones that I'd wish. So for this, I've tried something new. I have scripted my material just to make sure that challenging, difficult material is articulated accurately. The last thing I need is to take something that's already challenging, that's already absolutely bound to unavoidably upset some people and ruffle some feathers and get the hackles up. Last thing I need is to take that material and be unclear with it. So I have spent no small amount of time curating my thoughts and distilling my thoughts into careful wording. Not 100% of it, but a lot of it. Much more than is typical for the talks that I've done historically. So this will be a presentation of that material as we conclude The Lover. Next time, we will be getting to The King. And that is not to be missed. Not to be missed. So yeah, that's what's going on. And now you know. Now you know all the stuff and all the things. Next stream is tomorrow night, right? Yeah, tomorrow night, Saturday night. Yeah, our Anything But Apex lineup. The patrons, capos and above, have voted, and they've chosen a game. Pretty darned cool. We're starting up Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice. We're starting that up tomorrow night. I've never played it. I now have it installed. I didn't. I'm like, whoops. Okay, make sure I got the game. I have the game now. I don't know what it is. Never seen it before, but the patrons voted for it. Lots of people seem to like it. I'm going in blind on purpose, so I hope you guys will be here for that as well. Because again, I believe these real relationships that we ought aim for involve the silly as well as the serious. So really looking forward to having you guys in for that. And then Tuesday in it will be a return to Apex. How it all began for me, the mouth-breathing moron. That's our Tuesday antics. That's when we're going to get up to that. All right, look at me on Tuesday. So, yes, hello. Hi, Silver. Hi, KOTOR. Welcome in. It's good to see you. Good to see you indeed. I am also hopeful for the remake. Yes, I am. Let me catch up really fast, then we're going to jump into this thing. Looks around. I have no idea. Yeah, I know. Me neither. It's nuts. Hi, Thumb. Good to see you. Love the tie. Me too. Thanks. I like it. I like it a lot. Love the pinstripes from Maxie. We a big fan of the pinstripes. You know it. You know it. Okay. Appreciate the work and effort you put into this. And I appreciate your appreciation, Liz. Okay. I think it's time. I'm not going to be enabling follower-only chat. I'm our usual or our historically typical strictures because I'm not going to be seeing much of chat anyhow. So I'm not going to. Yep. And I don't want to disable chat, but know this: I'm not going to be able to see your chat. I will try and review chat tomorrow. That's what I'd like to do. Is I want to know what all was going on, what I missed. I want to know if there was something that I failed to address well. That requires clarification, but you guys, veterans of the channel, certainly know this, that I distract super easily. That's why we have a stream tag for distracts easily, because I distract easily. And so, no, I need to rein all that in. I'm going to stick to the material. I'm not going to go off on random tangents and down random friggin' roads, okay? No, I'm going to stay on target is the plan. So I'm actually not going to be able to see chat at all. I'm going to block chat. Like, I mean... physically, for me, I will not be able to see chat on screen. So, if there's an absolute emergency of some kind, you know, several people know how to ping me in Discord. You can DM me in Discord, and I will have my notifications turned on so you can ping me in Discord. But that's it. That's it. So, I'm going to deny raids now is in effect. The Iron Curtain, as it were, has come down on raids. So those are thus disabled. I'm grateful to everybody who would raid. It means an awful lot that you would entrust your platform and your people, as I say all the time, to little old me. But for the seriousness tonight, it's very difficult to go from the utterly serious material to the super hype of a raid. The two grind the gears. They are incongruous. So I've learned my lesson here to disable raids on Friday nights. If you guys are that sort and you really want to raid over here, again, you have my sincere gratitude. Tuesdays and Saturdays are the nights for raids. Some Friday nights we do just chatting. Some of them, if the category is just chatting and we're actually just hanging out, raids will be enabled. But, you know, safe bet, Tuesday, Saturday. So, you know. Ski, I appreciate the lurk. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Where should you? A piece of candy? Ooh, exactly. That's what's going on. That's exactly what's going on. Thank you for the lurk, Duckling. I appreciate you. Okay. It begins. Last caveat. Warning, counsel before we begin is that I've got for you is this material was made for men at the request, incidentally, of women who have asked, what has happened to men? My challenge this entire time has been, men, take this seriously. Ladies, absorb what you can. There's obvious overlap. Yes, some of these things will be applicable to your life as well. But this is chiefly so that you can understand the weird man's critters that exist in your world. I've been asked by several ladies if I could speak to the feminine journey. I cannot. I will not. That is not my wheelhouse, and I would not be so presumptuous. Yeah. So, men, buckle up. Timestamp us. Talk number 181, I believe. The Masculine Journey, Night 9. The Lover, Part 3. Men, I said in the previous installment that what she, the flesh and blood beauty, longs for in you is what you ought become. What she wants in this relationship, and what its thriving or even survival, I posit, depends on, is for you to mature into the stage of the lover. I put it to you then that the wise understand why we talked first about beauty in the universal, elemental sense. Unless the strength of his arm is first pledged to the service of the larger story of life, the would-be lover will always be inadequate for a woman. His first allegiance must be to the transcendent. That is, his cause must be greater than get girl, sleep with girl. You must decide what your life is about before you invite the girl to join you in that life. Otherwise, there's nothing for her to join you in. I then posited that the thing that will give your life purpose is laying it down. We talked about this at length, specifically laying it down for others. When you finally come to understand that the world does not revolve around you, that you are a part of a larger story, you can offer your strength to that something bigger. And finally, I quoted Sam in Lord of the Rings in his claim that what they're holding on to is the fact that there's good in this world and that it's worth fighting for. Thereafter, I left you with homework. I asked, what good are you fighting for? Sam and Frodo have their cause and their method of fighting for it. Okay, what's yours? What's your cause? What's your reason for being? For what in this world will you lay down your life? This you must answer. I claimed then and I stand by now. This you must answer if you would take up the mantle of man. And if you missed last week, or any of this series, I encourage you to go back and give them a listen. You can find them on Rumble, you can find them on YouTube. Many of the earlier ones will have fallen off of Twitch by now. So go to Rumble, YouTube is your backup, find them there. Especially if you're jumping here in the middle of the lover. At the very least, you gotta know what the heck's been going on in parts 1 and 2. So I encourage you, jump back a couple weeks, find them. They're labeled appropriately, you should be able to find them. So these questions are the ones that I put to you listening. These broader questions, answering satisfactorily as being a prerequisite to taking up the mantle of man. And then, once you've figured out which direction you'll head, what's worth your very life, then, here's where we pick up now, then you need to find a woman who's reached the same conclusions you have. What do I mean? And I really want you to picture this, okay? I really want you to picture this. Follow along, okay? You're out. You have a few drinks, yeah? You meet a cute prospect, and without even doing the most basic fact-finding about their life, you sleep with them. For illustrative purposes, you link arms with them, okay? You link arms with them, okay? And when the moment has passed, and the rude brightness of sobriety comes barging in unbidden, you set out to continue in your pursuits, assuming again you have pursuits. Only now you'll do so with a new arm accessory, right? New arm candy, okay? But what happens? You each take one step in opposite directions, are jerked to a halt, and then fall. You regain your bearings, look at each other, giggle at the silliness of the picture, of course, pick yourselves up, and try again. But once more, you rubber band back into each other before falling. Do you see it? It doesn't matter how cute they are if they're headed in the opposite direction. All these cute people passing by you, headed in the opposite direction, you've got to ignore them. That life cannot work. It's a physical and logistical impossibility. The order that this must be done in, if you would have a life well lived, is this. Decide which direction you ought head in that direction by committing the strength of your arm to it, and then look around. That's the order, okay? I'm going to say that again. Men, decide which direction you ought head. Head in that direction by which you're committing the strength of your arm to this thing, to this cause, to this direction, okay? Look around. In order for the relationship to work, any relationship like this to work, the person with whom you link arms needs to be heading in the same direction as you. And when you can do that, when you're heading in a direction and you look around, now find a cute one. That order. Not find a cute one. And then see if maybe... Nope. This does two things. One, it means, as with draft horses, that the totality of your efforts will be greater than their sum. For the strength of two is multiplicative, not additive. Put plainly, you will both be more effective in preserving the good to which you've pledged yourself. Remember our question, what good have you pledged yourself to? And second, it means that if something should happen to her and the relationship is broken, you are not broken. Think about this when it comes to children. I've mentioned before a gentleman I knew growing up whose wife, the mother of his two children, died of cancer fairly young, yeah? Which version of her husband do you think she would prefer? Okay? Which version of her husband do you think she would prefer when she learned she was not going to recover from her sickness? That the radiation and the chemo and stuff weren't going to cure her? Which version of her husband do you think she would prefer in that moment, okay? One who says, no, you can't die. I'm useless without you. I'd fall to pieces, lose my job, lose the house. The kids would be carted off to foster care because I'd be an inconsolable mess. No good for anything or anyone. You must live. Or one who says, I have loved my time adventuring with you. It has been the privilege of my life. And now, as you head into your next adventure, I'll continue our work here. The kids and I will be okay. I'm equipped and able to raise them right. Our cause is a good one, and I'll continue in it for all of my days. Eyes fixed on the horizon. You tell me. Now, how do we become this? How do we develop the lover? First, I'll say that you, as the lover, will be a work in progress all of your days. Even if, as a boy, best practices are observed by the men in your life and you begin cultivating your relationship with beauty, the elemental beauty, from a very young age, this will still be a progression that continues for your whole life. Okay? There is no checkbox for this. If he is to be a good king, which we'll talk about next time, the next installment, again, he must first be both a warrior and a lover. And long after the king's fiercest fights are behind him, and he's handed the battles over to younger men as he comes into the season of the sage, he'll yet need to be a lover. And that is because, again, one cannot give that which they do not have. I've said that a lot, but that's because it's important and not to be missed. One cannot give that which they do not have. Unless a man has matured into this stage properly, he cannot teach its lessons to the next generation. So, for the benefit of us all, I challenge the older men listening. Do not give up this chase. Pursue beauty, no matter how old you are, and no matter how you were stunted in your day. Getting this right matters. If we would avoid the tyranny of those unfit for a crown, the next generation of kings needs you, older men, to show them the way. This pursuit, the pursuit of beauty, must go on. And you know what happens when you open yourself up to this? When you decide to pursue beauty, do you know what you'll find? That beauty has been wooing you all along. As to the how of this, I like how John Eldridge puts this. There is a posture we can take. There is an openness to this stage that will enable us to recognize and receive the wooing. So let me ask, are you willing to let go of your insistence to control? Meaning, to allow for a life that exists beyond the realm of analysis, to let some portions of your life be impractical, to cease evaluating all things based on their utility and function. Coming closer to the heart, are you willing to let passion rise in you, though undoubtedly it may unnerve you? To permit the healing of some of your deepest wounds? To let yourself be run through, as with a rapier, by beauty itself? Are you willing, at some level, to be undone? Then we may proceed. Men, this will be hard. Especially if you're anything like me, and your favorite words are practicality and efficiency. This will be hard. But, playing off something I taught earlier in this series, I've devised a hack for my own application that may be helpful to you. Okay? Do you recall when I said that much of whether or not we develop as a warrior in the previous stage has to do with our mindset? Our mindset as we undergo trials? In talking about life's trials, the absence of which would both be impossible and undesirable, talked a lot about that, I said that you can overcome much of what would otherwise discourage you by seeing the trials as warrior training. Okay? Deciding that life's difficulties are simply unfair and that you're just the universe's punching bag is a surefire way to stunt, if not arrest entirely, the development of the warrior in you. If you've decided that you're a victim, you're right. If, on the other hand, you choose to see these same trials, the same trials, as training, then you will be strengthened, not undone by them. So how can we use this for the development of the lover? In the same way. If we decide that to take the winding, meandering, inefficient path of the lover is wholly and irredeemably wasteful, and that there's nothing good to be gleaned by taking it, we will sensibly avoid it. And that, incidentally, is precisely what I've done for much of my life. If, however, big if, we decide to see these inefficient paths as training, well, now we're in business. Take me, for instance. Like I said in the last installment of this series, of all the stages of the masculine journey I've lived through so far, I've been most reticent with this one. Why? Because I could not square the circle. I could not rationally justify the pursuit of the irrational. Which makes sense on the surface. Why waste time in the pursuit of that which cannot be caught, right? But therein lies the twofold explanation for my reticence. The first I can illuminate with a rhetorical question. Gentlemen, question for you. Why go to the gym? Why go to the gym? You know, lift up heavy things, put them back down. Why go to the gym? Pound protein shakes. Why do all that? Someday you'll atrophy and wither anyways, right? Old age will find you and you'll just shrivel up. So why bother? Why go to the gym? Do you see it? The second is a little more personal. Could it be that I've not walked the winding road out of fear? I'm excellent at walking the roads of rationality. Even in the dark, I am 100% sure-footed when led by facts and figures. I can confidently utilize the scientific method to lead from one area of illumination to the next, knowing that cold, unfeeling facts will see me through, or at least can be reasonably expected to do so. The path of the lover, though, getting sidetracked, wandering off, losing track of time, getting lost, these are features, not bugs. And that is terrifying. So 2 reasons why I hold back here. 1, it has always appeared to me to be a waste of time. And 2, to choose this road is to face a kind of ruination, a death to self, at least if you see yourself as I have, as a kind of machine, the subsequent iterations of which become increasingly efficient. But if I accept the premise that the ancients knew something I don't, if the warrior poets of old are yet trying to teach me something, then I'd be foolish to not see the lie behind the first, and a coward to continue as I have with the second. So how about you? Do you see either of these 2 points in your life? Do you hold back for other reasons that I've not mentioned? If you haven't done this sort of introspective work, incidentally, since part 1 of The Lover, it's necessary, if you would become fully man, that you do. I am convinced that I do not know everything. My years here have persuaded me that the lessons of antiquity are yet valuable, and that one who pursues wisdom ignores those voices at his peril. Which brings me back to the promise and the threat of becoming the lover. That I'll be, at some level, as will you, undone. What does that look like? It looks like slowing down. It looks like turning off the news and turning on some music. It looks like going for a walk to nowhere in particular. It looks like reading fiction or fantasy instead of just history. It looks like something different to each of us. That is, while my road looks like, well, I just listed, yours may be entirely different. The question is, what was it historically that stirred your heart? As I've said before, for many men I've talked to about this, it's fishing. I've never really understood the fishing thing until I began this work, this study. I told you guys before about my childhood spent fishing, so I'm no stranger to it. But being acquainted with fishing, familiar with fishing, is very different than having one's spirit stirred by fishing. Thoreau said, most fishermen spend their entire lives without knowing it is not fish they are after. That is the part I've never understood. What I'm not saying, however, is that this gives free license to just run off whenever you like to go fishing or golfing or hiking with the boys and leave your lady home with the kid or kids, okay? What I am saying is that once you've established a healthy relationship and good communication with your wife, and she's done the hard work to understand the material in this series and the importance of it, then she will want you to go fishing from time to time. And it's not a joke, okay? She will understand if you go through that. If you do that work, she will then understand that this is not you escaping her or your family or ducking your responsibilities. It's your continuing your training in order that you might be the kind of man capable of loving her as she ought be. Within the bounds of a healthy and maturing relationship, regular trips down the meandering, inefficient path ought be encouraged. And here's where I, and so many men, struggle. I have lived so long in the delusion that I cannot afford the time or the expense for such meandering that I have a hard time justifying any such pursuits. Here again, though, I'm forced to face the lessons of the warrior, and am reminded why it's so important that the lover be a warrior also. Remember, if the world cannot keep you out of the fight, and in my case, it cannot, okay? I'm a warrior through and through. I fight where I ought. That is not my problem. If the world cannot keep you out of the fight, it will attempt to render you ineffective by burying you in fights. That's me. It may sound strange to some, but in my life, I've almost fetishized the fight. I've elevated it beyond its station, convincing myself that the fight is everything. But, as we talked about last time, if I'm all parts warrior and no parts lover, I'm lost. If you missed that, go give a listen to The Lover Part 1. One of the authors I read in my study of this, John Tyson, put it in a way that has inflicted a kind of trauma on me. One I should hope to feel the imprint of for however many days remain to me. Beware the soul-sucking voice of reason. Beware the soul-sucking voice of reason. Every time you make an excuse against this meandering unreasonableness, you conspire with mediocrity. This hit like a sucker punch when I read it. It goes against everything I've ever known and everything I've ever been. And yet, in the context of raising the next generation and the lengths to which a king ought go in order to do it right, I cannot argue with him. My insistence on reasonableness has been part of the problem. And inasmuch as I cling to that insistence, I harm those I would seek to inspire. You must remember, as must I, that if one has nothing to return from war for, then all is lost. The battle is for this, the great romance of life. The reason we'll go to war is so that on the other side of it, we have the requisite peace and space for this romance. Remember, the specific beauty we will go to war to protect is not the same as the transcendent capital B beauty that our hearts long for. The real-life, flesh and blood woman in your home cannot bear the burden you place on her if you continue to try and find the beauty in her. She is only a stand-in. She is a reflection of the transcendent. And we do ourselves and her a great deal of harm if we insist on treating her as more than that. You must be a warrior so that man can have the space necessary to pursue, via the wandering path, capital B, beauty. And once you have that space, once you have begun to come into your own as the lover proper, wooed by beauty itself, you will better understand how to woo the flesh and blood beauty the next office over. We've been talking a lot about best practices here, the things to get right the first time when you're still 18, 19, or 20 with the guidance of wise mentors in your life. But what if that's not your story? What if you've not followed best practices and the damage has been done? How are we to heal the lover in us? I'm convinced that's part of why we face trials in the shape of beautiful women, whether they're in person or on the screen. Beauty is good. The abuse of beauty is not. Woman, being the personification of elemental beauty, is why we are so drawn to them. And though it may sound ridiculous to say so, this attraction is not unlike moths to flame. To our destruction will we pursue. Man, incidentally, has long made art out of that which he'll fight for, that which he'll die for, the universal. I've got some pictures to illustrate this point, and you'll know where I'm going with this. Okay? These pictures are not of real flesh and blood women. They're of capital B beauty. These are not depictions of specific women. They are depictions of woman as a stand-in, as a reflection of capital B beauty. They're not intended to be. They're not purposed with being specific women. This is the kind of art that is conjured alongside war type stuff. See the warplanes in all of these? Why will we fight? Why will we go to war? For capital B, beauty, and the reflections of it, and the stand-ins. The shape of a woman. Follow me here. This is absolutely important. Fire. Fire, properly contained and wisely stewarded, say in the confines of a fireplace or a fire pit, okay, is life-bringing and life-preserving. The life-giving warmth of the hearth will keep you from freezing to death and create the conditions necessary for life to thrive. Outside of the hearth, however, that same fire will destroy the home and everyone in it. Dostoevsky spoke to this very duality in The Brothers Karamazov. The awful thing is that beauty is mysterious as well as terrible. God and the devil are fighting there, and the battlefield is the heart of man. Here, Dostoevsky is shedding light on what I've just finished describing, the universal struggle between aspirational ideals, beauty, capital B beauty, And the wholesome reason why we will fight for capital B beauty, the universal aspirational, okay, versus base desires, lusts. Woman is not some object to be used and then discarded. And yet, that is precisely how many men treat them. Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why men will continue to treat women reprehensibly and then with contempt discard them? It's because he does not yet comprehend what we've been here talking about. Listen up, men. He's looking for beauty, capital B, beauty. And he thinks he can get to her through sex. And when he tries, when he goes to the reflection looking for the real thing, and then is inevitably disappointed, he rages. He's looking to her to provide that which she cannot. And when she fails, when she inevitably fails, he hates her for it. Men, if you can get this, if you can understand this distinction and fix your eyes on the beauty, you'll stop searching fruitlessly and frustratedly for it in vapors. The solution, however, is not to hide yourself away in a monastery somewhere. The solution is to understand that this, too, is training. From the age when your breath is first stolen away by a woman's form, until long after you've put a ring on one, you will be tested. Historically, men have handled this in one of two ways: surrender or discipline. I don't wish to be crass, and I have exactly zero desire to illustrate with any kind of granularity that which I mean when I say surrender. You already know of what I speak, alas. Surrender can be small, seemingly innocent things. A glance that lingers slightly too long. Sharing perhaps too personal details with her, or allowing her to flirt with you even when you're spoken for. Or it can be flagrant, as when you get off to porn, or when you give in into an affair. Any lingering doubts as to the harm that all those forms of surrender cause are now beyond question. The research on what is happening to our minds, our bodies, our relationships, and our societies is settled. You can lie to yourself all day long if you like, but that will not make what I'm saying untrue. You are well acquainted with the feeling, men, when waves of pleasure wash over you, only to recede and reveal the jagged rocks of shame. Surrender is one option. The other is discipline. Men, you must look away. Whatever it takes. You must fight this as if your life depends on it, because in more ways than one, it does. Busy yourself with other things. Get an accountability partner, something. You will not always win and choose discipline over surrender. But my question for you is this: which are you in the habit of? A life marked by discipline, one in which 97% of skirmishes are won, is very different than one that is the reverse, where any victory is more or less accidental. Once again, men, I bid thee choose. What kind of man will you be? This transformation will not happen overnight. It will require years of intentionality and training. Training, there's that word again. Which is why, incidentally, I said that you cannot win by locking yourself away in a monastery somewhere. A thought that many a man has had. This would be easier if I were just some monk somewhere. To do so, would be to abdicate your responsibility of defending beauty. If you would become a real man, it will require facing the realities of this world and disciplining both body and spirit such that you might operate wisely and well within it. The very moment that you are tempted, when your affectations are stirred, that is what Dostoevsky was talking about. That is the battle taking place in the heart of man. That is when you must stand and fight. You needn't go looking for these battles. They will undoubtedly find you, as you well know. You could be innocently scrolling through an article on best camping gear. Best camping gear for, whatever, as pictured alongside various outdoorsy looking folks, and oh, she's cute. Or you could be watching a stream from some guy in a tie, and out of nowhere he decides to show pinup girls to illustrate his point. Regardless of when or where these trials find you, you must face them. You must fight. This, again, is why a lover must be a warrior also. If you do not know how to fight and win these battles, you will be taken out. You will be no good to anyone or anything. Remember my earlier admonition. Fight and win life's battles when they are yet small, or you will be entirely incapable of winning them when they become big. How you handle that moment when a beautiful woman crosses your path and you must choose between surrender and discipline, that moment is absolutely critical. On the other hand, we must not give in. That road leads to our destruction. On the one hand, we must not give in. That road leads to our destruction. On the other, we must not kill desire, for not all desire is an evil. Remember, what we actually long for, don't miss this, is to experience and exult in capital B beauty. And that desire is good. To kill that desire in order to avoid the lows is to close the door to love and the highs concomitant to it. Men, we must hold both. We must know how to wisely stoke and steward fire. And that means knowing when and where it's appropriate to light one, and how to protect an already lit fire in order that it might bring life to those who gather around it. This is a perilous path, men. This line. But it is one you must walk. No one can walk it for you. We must learn a healthy respect for beauty, for both her unspeakable wonders and her terrible dangers. Our soul withers without her. We must partake of real beauty, the dizzying colors of a mountain stream, the sway of towering cedars in the wind, the awesome force of crashing waves, and yes, a healthy delight in the female form. And at the same time, also exercise wisdom enough to know where the lines are, and discipline enough that we'll not cross them. Learning to be loved, and learning to love. Learning to be romanced, and learning to romance. This is what the stage of the lover is all about. Not duty, not merely discipline. It's about learning to love with a whole heart. Not the sad, stunted one we've locked away behind bars of unyielding arithmetic and reason. But the whole heart. One unafraid of a little inefficiency. One unafraid in the face of uncertainty. One unafraid of the beautiful mess that a woman will bring into his orderly, rational little world. If you would become all that man is meant to be, you must come to understand why the warrior is incomplete without the poet. Like me, you must learn to dance. Thank you. For your time and your patience, I thank you. For your serious consideration, I thank you. And men especially for your courage. The cost of entry, I thank you. I have every intention of continuing this series next Friday with The King, which is somehow heavier. There's a theme of that. The attentive will have noticed. Again, I thank you for your careful attention. Thank you to everybody who makes this possible. Thank you to everybody who has sacrificed to make this possible. For your patience with me as I work very hard to distill and to curate this material in order that I might present something meaningful and be a value add to your lives. Men, we have to get this stuff right. And it will not be easy. If you wish to discuss this further with more granularity, write down specific questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, whatever you've got in your head and in your heart right now, write them down. Bring them to Wednesday. I welcome the discussion. I'll not go looking for it. I will wait for you. I'll not prompt who wants to talk about Friday. But if you want to talk about Friday, I absolutely will. If you've got questions, if you've got concerns, if you've got practical questions, then you have ears. Thank you to everybody who's been here tonight. I appreciate your bandwidth. I appreciate it. The vote of confidence of your spending your Friday night here. Of all the places you could be, doing any old thing, any old where, you're here. And that says a great deal about the caliber of human with whom I'm dealing. And that is not lost on me. And it is worthy of celebrating each week. Would that I were in a season of partaking of drink right now, because I'd have something a little bit nicer to raise to you. Even still, I thank you. A toast to the very sort, that caliber of human, who would choose this, who chooses hard mode. No raid tonight. Not after the seriousness. But I'll have an ending soon screen for a minute here, so everybody can hear the final words as they trickle in, and you can bid each other farewells and all that. For I am not able to, because I'm still not seeing chat. I will catch up. Hopefully before the next stream, you know, tomorrow night. Again, brand new game kicks off tomorrow night, thanks to the patrons. So what'll it look like? What'll it look like to walk this sort of stuff out, to live it? To do so alongside the remarkable men and women of the Mafia who've agreed to try doing the same. What does it look like to live in both the silly and the serious with these real relationships that I'm encouraging and pushing for here in the Mafia? Come and see. Follow on Rumble, follow on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, join the Discord. Come and see. And as ever, I will strive to see that it's a decision that you don't regret. In the meantime, I wish for you each marvelous evenings, mornings, wherever ye be. And I will see you on the other side.